So, you can just go ahead and introduce yourself to start off.
Yeah, I'm Justin Ruiz with USA Wrestling, the National Director of Greco-Roman Program.
Okay. And then, what is my first question for you for Hispanic Heritage Month celebration? If you want to give a little bit of background, of your Hispanic heritage too.
Yeah, so I've got some grandparents on my dad's side that are from Mexico, from Sonora and Guanajuato, and so they came. So those were my great grandparents, and they came to the United States. I don't know in what year, but my grandparents, they grew up in Arizona. My dad grew up in Arizona. My dad is like my whole family on his side is Hispanic. He grew up speaking Spanish and English, and he taught us a little bit of vocabulary growing up, uh, but not a whole lot. I wasn't conversational, but I had some other classes in high school and college, and then ended up living in Chile 2 years, and that's where I picked up Spanish. So now I speak Spanish as well.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah. My family also came from Mexico, so that's a cool connection.
Oh, cool. Yeah, and
Um,
I have a grandmother she's German, but she grew up in Mexico,
okay.
on my mom's side as well. So
So, my first question is, what does being Hispanic mean to you?
being Hispanic, I mean, I guess it's just part of I guess my family, right? It's like part of the culture.
Mhm.
Um, so I guess it's kind of cool that America is one of those countries most everybody's come from somewhere else, and just so happens that my family came from is from Hispanic descent, and so I think of I just think of family, that's what I think of.
Mhm. Yeah. And then have you, so you wrestled throughout college, throughout, growing up and everything, and now you work with USA Wrestling. What are some challenges that you might have faced in your career growing up Hispanic, and that how that related to you, your background in wrestling and everything? So,
Um, I don't know if there was any. I mean, I don't know that there were necessarily any challenges that came from being Hispanic. I think just I mean, the hardest thing is probably just people pronouncing my name. Like my family all has grown up saying it Reese, like Reese's Pieces, and that's how my grandma says it. And so I just kind of followed suit and said it like that. But I don't think there are any really challenges other than just like I said, just the sport of wrestling being a difficult sport. Um, and again, I mean, I don't. I'm taller. I've got blue eyes, lighter skin, so I kind of when most people look at me, they don't think like, oh, that guy's Hispanic. It's mostly just from the last name that they would have any inclination of where my family comes from.
mhm. Yeah, and then I hear you speak Spanish a lot with the wrestlers. We have a few wrestlers from Cuba. They wrestle for the United States. Alan, is one of them, and I'll be talking to him later this month, so that's perfect, too. But how do you think it has helped you in a lot of ways to connect with those wrestlers? Speaking Spanish and maybe coming from a different background as well.
Yeah, I think anytime you speak a language, it pretty much opens a whole new world because there's just like a whole bunch of different people that you can connect with and you can get to know, and then also too, there's just different things that come with language in different cultures. Like there's some things, and it goes both ways, right? There's some things that ideas or things that they're really hard to translate into English, and vice versa. There's things that you try to translate English into Spanish, and it just doesn't always work the same. But it's cool just because it creates more opportunities. You can make more friends. You can help more people. So being bilingual has really been a blessing for sure.
Mhm. Yeah, and then so you're a leader in the community, you're a leader in wrestling, you're a leader for USA Wrestling. And then like how has that helped you? Um, how has your culture, I guess, helped you become more of a leader in that way? Like how has your culture translated and helped you with your leadership role?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've just been in different positions that have kind of prepared me for that, like through wrestling and trying to be an example, just putting the hard work in so I would win, and trying to help my teammates. And then there's just other life experiences I've had, whether it's jobs or through the sport or whatever. Um, and I guess, I mean, I hadn't really thought about it like that because um, as far as like culture, like Hispanic culture, really thinking about that. Like, I guess I've never really considered myself a leader in that regard, but I guess it would make sense.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it just makes me want to do a good job and really come when it comes back to family, just making my family proud of me.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Do you have any advice for any wrestlers, that maybe don't feel like they exactly maybe belong in the sport or maybe have trouble?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think just don't quit is the biggest thing. I mean, just stick it out. There's going to be hard times and there's going to be times where you probably feel like quitting. And I think that is anytime there's something challenging, it's human nature. But just to not give up and stick with it and keep moving forward. And things tend to work out. It's like if you put the work in, things tend to work out. So that would be my advice to young wrestlers that are up and coming.
Thank you, Justin. Thank you. I appreciate it. And good luck at
Yeah.
the World Championships.
All right. Thanks, Savannah.